Podathon 2021. Scotty J-Ro is sitting next to me. I am Pete Flitzer. How is everybody doing this morning?
Before the stream started, we were right at 3,000. So we doubled what we expected. And Pete, let's announce our new goal today. And I think we're going to get it. In my heart of hearts, I think we're going to get it.
We want to hit $5,000 today.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, get to talk about Star Wars, get to talk about fandom, and raise money for a fantastic charity. That's a win-win.
We got Scotty, $44.95. $505 away from making it to our goal, which has already been pushed out and pushed out and pushed out and pushed out.
Oh, we did it.
We got a tremendous donation from E. Ann Convery, who's going to be a guest later, so I can't wait to thank her in person. Holy cow, I'm so excited. I had to drop that on you guys. I was waiting for the right moment. We're up to 6,000. Thank you so much.
6,254, baby. It is crazy. That's a huge number.
$6,504. Amazing. We went to 5, then we hit 5, and now we're at 6,500. Thank you so much. We're now shooting for 7. I think we can get there by the end of the day. We still have a bunch of time left.
We made 7,000 Imperial credits.
7,000.
Wow. Guys, that's crazy. We've had to up the goal again. Sorry, we're up the goal to 8,000.
$230 all for Make-A-Wish, and that is because of all you watching right now.
Everybody.
Amazing.
That's what makes me love this Star Wars community. And for all the days where we complain about social media, this is that day that makes up for all of those. And so I'm truly honored to get to hang out with you guys, to get to be a small part of this, and to get to just help out for a cause that I truly think is phenomenal.
Welcome to Streaming Star Wars. I'm Pete Flitzer. I'm here with my partner in crime. I don't know about crime. Crime might be a little bit, I don't think crime so much. Partner in Star Wars, Nick Milkey for Streaming Star Wars on Friday night. Nick, how are you doing?
Well, first of all, Chris Ryans, it's apparently nice to meet you this evening because it appears that we're using an old overlay this evening. So you are
hi, Chris.
As Chris Ryans.
Oh, I how about that? That works better. Oh my goodness.
You are. It was weird.
I didn't look the same. I looked a little bit. I was wearing a hat though, so I was doing my Chris Ryans impression. So what's going on, man?
Well, I've said it multiple times. The music that plays that you changed up for our intro is fantastic. It's a bop. I'm always dancing in the background. Tonight, what it did is it kind of helped me get over the fact that I had to look at myself with that terrible mustache at the end of that Podathon video there. Just for
I love that. That's the best.
That's a relic of my Wonder Years days gone by that won't be returning anytime soon. So other than that, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. We have a big Podathon announcement that we're going to share in just a couple minutes. But before we do, we do our toast at the beginning. But before we get to the toast, could you tell us who's with us in the chat while I grab something I want to share here?
Yes, absolutely. I see William, I see Brian, I see Framey. Framey home in time to catch the show tonight, which is not always possible.
That's why we went late. So
that's right. We waited for Framey. Yeah. I see Jerry, I see Alden. Who's up here? Jeff is here. Jeff's actually at a high school football game right now. That's dedication chiming in. I see, looks like Eli's here, Matthew's here, all of our favorite usual folks. So
awesome.
Happy Friday. So cool. Good to see all of you. Yeah.
So good to see
Matthew's
all of you.
Right. he has pics and plenty of memes of Mustache Nick. So not going anywhere.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, JD just popped in. What's up, JD?
What's up, JD? So so the other day I was standing in the garage and the mailman pulled up. Normally he just puts all the bills and shit in the mailbox, and I grab that. But he pulls up and he's like, "I got a box for you today. It's not gonna." I was like, "Oh, what's in it?" Well, it's a box. It comes in and it's this, and it says ATG on it in Orabesh. For those who don't know, I didn't know. I mean, I inferred it, even though, but yeah. And what was in it came from my good friend and partner Nick Milkey here. And what it is for those of you who watch the show regularly, you know that we on occasion do the
Pete just yeeted himself from the chat. So I don't know how he managed to do that, but he closed out the whole window. So we're going to keep going. While we're waiting on Pete to get here, let me go ahead and bring in somebody that we're going to be talking to in just a minute. R.I.P. Pete. Alden's right. Scotty, what did you do to Pete? Is this a hostile takeover?
I did the old Force Connect thing. I'm going to push you out like we used to do with back in the day.
All right. Go away.
Bye, so anyway,
what did you do?
So, I pressed a button on the thing and did this stuff because that's what happens. I was trying to find the graphic, but hey, if you know, you know. That's kind of where we're at with this. We have a little guy that we call R5 Drink More, and he lives in the most amazing home craft that that you can do. And Mr. Nick Milkey sent this to me, and thank you so much, man. And you can't have one without the other, and so there you go.
Matching set.
Set.
It's our own, and it's magnetic. This droid serves a purpose. does his business. So I felt like it was something that we had to have. It was something that a project that just I've spent too much time on for something so silly.
But no, it was awesome. It made my day. I was having one of those days, as you work on Podathon every day and on all the stuff we do, it was like one of those days where things were going good, but I was just like, I'm a little exhausted. So bringing that in was perfect. So cheers, happy Star Wars.
Cheers and happy Star Wars to everybody in the chat.
Delicious. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. Thanks for joining us a little bit late tonight. We did run late because we were helping the Bombad cast with their guest for Podathon. Now, as you saw in the opener, we're so excited about what's coming up for 2022. We're going to talk about all the guests. We're going to talk about all the that have been announced so far. There's still more guest announcements that will come next week, which some we can't announce yet. Some we're just casually waiting to put them out there. But you all know about Ryan Johnson is joining us
kind of a big deal.
To close down the show on September 17th. We said it before, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but 2 years ago, we were like, hey, let's raise some money for Make-A-Wish. We did a little thing. This year, we have Ryan Johnson literally coming on and saying the words Podathon. That to me, that blows me away. But the fact that he cares that much about it is really something. So I'm going to put Scotty on screen here. And Scotty, we're not going to say who the guest is. We're going to play a commercial that he recorded specifically for us in just a minute. But Scotty,
I put this in here. No one's ready. And guess what? Just a little behind the scenes factor. We had just wrapped up doing the interview with this person. So all of us are coming from a really good high right now. Not like the smoked pot, but like we were like just I can't believe what I'm about to announce. It's already loaded in Twitter. Whenever you want to roll the graphic and the image, we are going to do it.
Here it goes. Ready? Here we go.
Hey, this is Seth Green, and I want you to join me for the Podathon 2022, benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation on September 17th. More than a dozen Star Wars nerds will be hosting their podcasts all day long with special guests just like me, starting at 9 a.m. East, raising money to help make wishes come true for kids who need it most. I'll be hanging out with Scotty and Jerry of the Bombad cast at 7 p.m. East, 4 Pacific, and I hope you'll be there to support this great cause. Get more information and donate today at thepodathon.com. What are you waiting for? When people ask me what I like to stay, I always stay Bombad.
Oh my god. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Green.
It's
y'all have no idea the high I am on right now.
it was so, and I can say that first of all, as a guy who's been doing podcasts for 3 years and having different guests, it's so nice sometimes to just sitting back and watch. And I will say, I have not enjoyed an interview since the Ryan Johnson interview.
Yeah.
Here we are. Look, Podathon has Ryan Johnson and Seth Green back to back on the 17th. You need to be there. If you're even considering doing anything else on September 17th, cancel
Shut it down.
Shut it down. Donate. Tell friends. Make sure that we use this to make money for Make-A-Wish. But this interview, the biggest challenge I think is going to be, so we'll announce it this way. It's going to be literally only about half of the interview because Seth and Scotty and Jerry went for literally an hour and 40 minutes. And it was so much
good.
fun. And because the day is so packed, we're only gonna be able to give you half of that. So you're gonna have to join us for Podathon and then join Scotty and Jerry later that week for the full hour and 40 minutes, because there's not 1 minute that you don't want to see. It was so much fun. Such a great interview. Scotty, how are you feeling after this conversation?
There was one part, y'all, and I know y'all sat in it, but anyone watching this live right now, where like he played into a bit where he like messed up our names on purpose. He called us Brokeback Cast. He called us all kinds of names. Like it was
Scotty and Gary.
Scotty and Gary. He did so many little bits and like insight into George Lucas and him and George Lucas' creative process. I'm not kidding when I say it was one of the greatest conversations I've had. It's funny because Alden's Ryan interview is amazing, and I can't wait for everyone to see that. But like, it's the same level of like just Star Wars insight and perspective. I really wish I could express how incredible it is. We did no work. I mean, it was so wild. Like we did a lot of prep work, but Seth carried the entire thing. It's amazing.
So
it really is.
If you are watching this right now, it will be broadcast. The Podathon will be broadcast on both the Bombadcast channel and this channel. But if you're watching this right now, hit the reminder button, because subscribe and hit the reminder button, because you don't want to miss it. It will be here. It will be on the Bombad channel as well. And you do not want to miss this conversation with Seth Green. You don't want to miss the conversation with Ryan Johnson. We've had the good fortune of having a preview of that as well, which is Alden does such great work with it. And honestly, they're two completely different types of interviews. And when you see Ryan and Alden speaking about, even if you're, I think Nick, you might have said this, even if you're not a fan of The Last Jedi, you will look at it differently after this conversation. It's it's so great. So
one of the biggest takeaways for me with that one, and it certainly doesn't spoil anything, but because you said it, the word purity, how pure Ryan Johnson's Star Wars fandom is, watching that interview and listening to him talk about the experience he gets to have. And Alden asked a really great question about legacy and being, Star Wars directors and what that means. But like, he's just a fan, and it really shows through in that conversation. It's very kind, and I don't know, it filled me up. And I'm the biggest Last Jedi lover on the world, but like, it was just such a great conversation.
And one thing that I will say about Podathon, and we're going to talk about all the guests in just a couple minutes, and all the shows and all the donators the prize partners we have. Honestly, this thing has blown up. But one of the things that's really been interesting, seeing it in the Ryan interview, seeing it in the Seth interview that literally just finished within the hour, and talking to the others who some have pre-recorded and others we have guests that are going to be live. So, but one of the things that's amazing is, if there's a love of Star Wars, if there's a connection to Star Wars, whether it's Ryan Johnson, who directed what is a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie, also some people's least favorite, but that's a whole other conversation, but they address it and it's awesome. There's something about the creators, somebody like Seth, who is a big fan first. Everybody who's involved in Star Wars, everybody who's going to be on the show is a fan first. And the way that they show such love for the podcasts, the people who create this fan content and open up. Scotty, I'll put it this way, and I hope I'm not talking at a turn here, but when the interview started with Seth, you never know, right? When you have somebody like Seth, when you had Mac DeMarco as well, for example, you get a big name like that, and you're like, okay, let's hope that they go for the way I interview, right? Even if I don't care who you. And it started, I was like, and not that it went bad at all, but I was like, I don't know if he's getting the vibe. And honestly, you tried to end the interview 2 or 3 times, and he was like, did you ever see this One Robot Chicken thing? And it was like, oh my god, we're still. I have to say, a highlight of my life right now is having watched a Robot Chicken clip with Seth Green while he's laughing at that clip. It's so cool.
And wait,
you're gonna love it.
There is a moment in here that I can honestly say I am so proud of, that I just took the initiative and I was like, we're gonna watch that famous George Lucas Mara Jade clip that everyone's seen. It's got like 10 million views on YouTube. And we played it, and I asked, can you give us some context? And he told us the full story, how George is really laid back when it comes to Star. I mean, I cannot wait for everyone to see this.
It's going to be so great.
And you know what's crazy? Like y'all said earlier, y'all won't see the full interview the day Podathon happens. You'll see the really good stuff. But I mean, he talks about New Orleans at one point and a weird legacy he has in New Orleans. I mean, I wish I could explain to you how incredible it is.
So good. But so Scotty, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everybody who's part of Podathon. What a great get. And again, Alden, if you're out there and you've got the link and you want to join us, jump in. We're talking to the people who have our 2 headliners. Now, before we go much further, let me just kind of run through who else we have announced.
Yes.
So far. So I'm going to actually share the screen. I think hopefully this will work. Who knows? You saw what I did before. I was so excited. I jumped out of the thing here. So
sorry, as the kids say, you yeeted yourself.
I yeeted myself out. Yes. Yeet. Here we go.
We're so hip.
We're pretty cool. All right. So we have Ryan Johnson, who we talked about, Christopher Sean, who is the voice of Kaz. He's playing Nightwing in the new Gotham Knights game, and there's a handful of guests that I had when I first started around the Galaxy 3 years ago, who I was like, there's no way this guy's going to give me the time of day. I'll tell a quick story about Christopher Sean. I did the interview with him at the height of Resistance. It was right when when that show was a big show. Did the interview. At one point, he had to step away and come back, and I never hit record for the second half of the interview. And I texted him. I was like, hey, by the way, I only got half the interview. And he was like, do you want to re-record it? I'm free Wednesday. And I was like, holy cow, yes. So he did that. And the interview that he did with Tatooine Sons is amazing. And he's a great guy. He's just there's people who get excited about Star Wars, and he's absolutely one of the, we talked about it before, people who are part of. Yeah. So we have that. We have Alden has joined us. We're just going to pull him into the stream. Hello, Alden.
Well, hello.
How are you? So glad you're here.
Oh, fancy meeting you.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that whatever.
How weird that you showed up in the place we gave you a link to show up in.
That's incredible. After all that promo, I can smell promo. If I hear good things being said about me,
he showed up.
I'm like a reverse Beetlejuice. It doesn't even take my name; it just takes.
That's right.
Low-level praise.
All right. So we haven't released the schedule yet. All the details for Podathon will be coming next week. But Christopher Sean, as I said, I'm trying to make my computer work here. You know what? Of course. Oh, thank God I wasn't recording the interview. Because clearly I'm having issues today. So Kristen Baver is joining Tarkin's Top Shelf.
Yep.
I can't say enough amazing things about our good friend Becca Benjamin, who has been really helping us with a lot of the guests. And her and Becca, Kristen and Becca, apparently are they're buds. And Kristen is going to be live hanging out with Tarkin's Top Shelf. We also will have Kelly Knox, who Kelly is. If you follow her on Twitter, you are exposed to some of the best/worst dad jokes in the world. But she's also just a wonderful human being, and she's just been great to work with. And she's going to be with Kanata's Castle live, which is fantastic. Where do we go from here? We have him, I think, returning, Charles Soule. Charles Soule was on Broaxium last year. Charles Soule used the power of spoilers or scoops to drive some of the funding last year. So he's coming back to Bro Axiom. And we're looking forward to him. Before we bring up the next guest, do you want to bring David in from the
Yes,
from the chat
absolutely.
there? So
David,
how are
What's
you?
going on, guys? Pretty good. How are you?
We are just having we're having a lot of fun sort of reviewing what's going on, and we were just getting to the guest that you have, Mr. Gary Whitta. Whenever this pops up again, there he is. Gary Whitta. So David, first of all, tell us a little bit about Followers of the Force. Tell us about yourself, because I don't know if everybody who joins us on Fridays is familiar with you.
Sure.
So give us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm David, one of the hosts of the Followers of the Force podcast. Started the show in early 2017. I want to say around February. Started the show with my dad. We hosted that for several months, and then I brought on all my other co-hosts around summer of 2018, and then we've grown to like a 7-piece podcast, which has been awesome. But yeah, we're just friends who love talking about Star Wars, and we do a series called Your Star Wars Journey. Bring on guests, talk about their relationship with Star Wars. So it's been a lot of fun, and we've been very fortunate to have a lot of great guests. And Gary Whitta is no exception, and I'm really happy it's for such a great cause. So thanks, Pete, for reaching out and including us in this awesome event. We're super excited.
Awesome, and thank you for doing it. Also, I do need to mention that David works for Otter PR, who has graciously taken on the work to promote Podathon from a PR and media perspective. So that is amazing. That will help us so much, and it's been great to get to know you over the last couple of weeks as we move through this stuff. And you're gonna have Gary Whitta live. He's going to be there, so who knows what's going to happen. So really super excited about that. And we've announced a couple more guests. Which one is coming up? Oh yes, of course. Zoraida Cordova is joining the Night Sisters podcast. She those of you who don't know the name, she wrote the A Crash of Fate Star Wars book novel. Super good novel, really good. And she's also contributed to Clone Wars Stories of Light and Dark and a bunch of other things. Really excited to hear from her. That's one of two guests that Night Sisters has. We're going to be able to announce their second guest in just a couple of days.
Also, High Republic fans, the next key adult novel, the next core novel is Zoraida's.
That's right.
So,
that is right.
So if you're a High Republic fan, that's a big one for you too.
You got to make sure you're there. Mike Chen, who wrote the book Brotherhood, which is just, if you're a Clone Wars, Star Wars, Ben Kenobi, Anakin fan, prequels, sequels, if you love Star Wars and the mood of Star, the amazing thing about Brotherhood, and I said this in my review, is Mike has captured that feel of Clone Wars, and at the same time, because I had him on my show a while ago when he wrote a story for From a Certain Point of View, the man is a Clone Wars fan, and it comes through. And that book is so good. And he's going to be talking to Katrina Dennis on her brand new show called What's Glup. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to having him join us. I think we have one or two more. Yes, we have Coffee with Kenobi. We'll be joined by Mr. Matt Martin from the Lucasfilm Story Group. That's going to be an incredible morning. And, for those of you who know Dan Zaire and Coffee with Kenobi, you know that he does a great interview, and Matt Martin is such an interesting guy, and he's got so much going on. So I think we've announced one more. No, that's it. That's all we've announced, other than, of course, which hasn't been put onto the website yet, Mr. Seth Green. So
we have a good bit in the chamber still, so there's still some names waiting to be announced.
I mean, I'll say this is neither here nor there, and we'll have to kick it around a little bit to figure out if it's going to air on Bombat after or whatever. I can tell you with 99.9% surety that I'm not done, and that the questions are in this person's hand. And if you like people that wear Mandalorian armor, particularly women that wear Mandalorian armor, that narrows it down. You can expect somebody to pop up as well as a special bonus treat. And I will say, just while we have Scotty, because I know you have to run, I remember feels like months ago because that's how time is now.
Yeah.
But I remember you saying, "Hey, like we were having a conversation about like guests and booking and conversations and everything." And I remember you gave me like names, and you were like, "What about this? What about this?"
Mhm.
And when you said Seth Green, I just something about that. I said it to you in our group chat too. If it's not Rick McCallum and Ahmed Best, and I had to pick somebody that was like the DNA of the show was just so right.
Yeah.
It's him. Like
It was
if he was of in our age group, he would have a podcast like Bomb Badcast, and
Just
vice
wait.
versa. If you and Jerry had his resources and you guys were around in the 90s, you probably would have worked on Robot Chicken.
I'm telling you, it's one of my it's Jerry and I will probably go down saying it's one of our proudest moments. It is there are some moments in there that can only be Bomb Badcast. And also Seth Green just knew how to deliver. I mean he's an incredible actor, but just being able to watch this thing unfold, and like I was trying to steer the conversation at one point. Nick and Pete will tell you, and I needed to take a step back and go, you know what? He's got it.
You know what just occurred to me? He is the subject of a quote that I think of all the time with you, which is "Scotty don't,"
and that's
Scotty no.
We legitimately talked about that.
Yes, it came up.
Like he is Scott Evil before you were Scott Evil in our community.
Yes. Oh man, I can't thank you enough for helping me get that connection. Obviously,
no, I didn't do anything.
But Podathon's the platform where you can pull these kind of things off, and I can't thank Pete enough and Nick enough, where our production team and David as well, for being able to help get this thing publicized and put out to the world. It's unbelievable. I feel so fortunate to even be around on this screen with all of y'all. So it's
and it's all for Make-A-Wish. And if you go to thepodathon.com, you can get more information and you can donate ahead of time, because we want you to donate now, so that way when you're watching the show, you're still like, you know what, I'm so excited, I'm going to donate again.
We already got 15%.
Yeah, we're up to $1,500 already. We haven't even started. So, Scotty, before we let you bump, can we show the commercial one more time?
Yeah, please. I can also play another video I have.
Oh, do you have one?
I got one. Another one. Hold on.
You were editing while we were talking. You were multitasking.
But this one is him. He does a little bit where he like jokingly forgets our names and stuff, and like it's amazing. This one that's uploading right now is really good.
Hold on, I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, here we
go for it.
Okay, here it goes. This is me going for it. The Bomb Badcast.
What the fuck?
Well, this is just for us now. Now we're just enjoying it.
It was a lot of that. It was a lot of that.
It was so much fun.
It is so much fun. But y'all, we did it. It's in the can. We can actually talk about it now. This has been like 3 weeks in the work. So
and now we're counting down to September 17th for Podathon. It's going to be so amazing. So
we got it.
Good job, Scotty. Well done,
Stay
Scotty.
Bombad,
Jerry,
girl.
stay Bombad.
That's
there
right.
You go.
Bye.
All right. See ya.
Hey, this is Seth Green, and I want you to join me for the Podathon 2022, benefiting the Make-A-Wish Foundation on September 17th. More than a dozen Star Wars nerds will be hosting their podcasts all day long with special guests just like me, starting at 9 a.m. East, raising money to help make wishes come true for kids who need it most. I'll be hanging out with Scotty and Jerry of the Bomb Badcast at 7 p.m. East, 4 Pacific, and I hope you'll be there to support this great cause. Get more information and donate today at thepodathon.com. What are you waiting for? You know, when people ask me what I like to stay, I always stay Bombad.
That part in
good.
particular
So
is
much
like
fun.
burned into my brain already.
So much fun. So much fun. So, and that's just, again, what I keep going back to it. This is the fact that 2 years ago, Podathon was like, hey, let's raise some money. And this year we're doing it. And it's Alden, great. You've been so helpful in not only getting your great guests, but helping make some connections for people. David and Otter PR helping to bring this to life. And David's got some little guest, this Gary Whitta guy who, I think a couple people have heard. And, the timing couldn't be better, David, because there's a show directly related to what he did. What kind of stuff do you think you're going to talk to him about?
Oh, man. Well, a really hard-hitting question that I hope to ask him is if he has any plans. I don't know his involvement beyond Andor, if there is any. But if we're ever going to see, Cassian get to touch Jabba, I want to ask him if he's going to make Diego's dream come true.
That's important to me. That's important to me, and I don't care if it's important to anybody else. That matters. Yeah, I mean, like, it's right there. I mean, the fact he kind of, like, in a roundabout way. I mean, there's legal and arbitration and everything, but he co-created this character, right. At least in some terms. So it's a huge moment for him. I'm so happy for you guys. It's going to be killer.
Yeah, so excited.
It's going to be great. Now, who from Force Followers of the Force is going to be on with you on that day?
Well, I know for sure, if she's not busy, Rachel, who is one of our co-hosts, Rogue One is her favorite movie. Jyn Erso is probably her favorite character. She has to be on there. She'll probably lose her mind, so that'll be fun to watch. But she for sure will have to be on the show that day. But it's open to all our co-hosts. I know it's a Saturday. I'm sure people have some plans, but anyone that can be on the show will be on the show. So definitely tune in.
Good. And also, we can't say the name yet because we don't have the official word, but David was instrumental in helping us get a guest for Podcast of the Wills that you're going to love. So that's going down. I got the go-ahead for my guest, which we will announce on Monday. If you're a fan of Lego, you're going to want to check that one out. A particular female character in Lego Star Wars. But that I just said who it is without saying it. So that's okay. There's only 11 people watching at this particular moment. So, but so no, it's going to be so great. Let me also now take a really important moment to talk a bit about the people who are donating prizes. And, that's one of the things that I think it's really kind of wild to me because we have this secondary piece. We offer for every $5 you donate, you get an entry into the prize raffle, and the prize raffle it's interesting because I don't think a lot of people donate for that reason. It's a nice side effect, but what's really interesting is the people who are so willing to be a part of it. And it's not just Joe's Corner comic book store. It's places like Geek John, Steve Anderson, who is an artist, a Star Wars artist. He's going to be giving away autographed prints. Geek John is a new endeavor by our friend Chris Ryans. He's going to be giving away some collectibles. 2797 Studios is a small independent maker of custom Black Series play sets. I call them play sets because that's what I call them, but they're really like dioramas and display units. Are amazing. Planetecture is they have digital prints that they're going to be giving away, really cool styles of the different Star Wars planets. Insight Editions, Del Rey Star Wars, and DK Publishing are all going to be giving away books. We're going to be giving away copies of Shadows of the Sith and Brotherhood, and among many other books. So keep an eye out there. The good people at Regal Robot are giving us an exclusive that was only available at Star Wars Celebration. That's going to be something that they're giving away. Bandai Namco, who are the makers of things like the Samurai Mandalorian and other things, they are donating. Denuo Novo, who took on the Anovos challenge, and if you listened to Around the Galaxy a couple weeks ago, you heard that story. But they are donating some replica props for giveaways. And Lucasfilm themselves are actually going to be a part of this, and they're going to give away. They haven't been able to nail down exactly what they're giving away, but there's going to be some exclusive Star Wars merchandise that they are putting together in a special package for one lucky winner. And my guest has told me that she will be also providing a very special gift. And all the podcasts, a lot of the podcasts, not all of them, but most of the podcasts are giving away, whether it's a T-shirt, a package. I'll be giving away. I have a handful of the Make-A-Wish exclusive Stormtrooper Funko Pops. You know me, I love my Funko Pops. So I'm going to be giving some of those away from my collection. And I know you are as well, Nick. You have you're going to be giving away a little something.
Yeah, I'm going to do a podcast of the Wheels prize pack that will have a T-shirt and some other Star Wars collectibles. I have plenty of things that I'm glad to share and pass along.
In my mind right now, I'm like, I'm going to do an Octo Radio prize pack, and I glanced over at my shelf like, what am I going to give away? But I will figure something out. I will say, while you were talking, Pete, and you were like, Lucasfilm, I was like, God, I would love to be the Lucasfilm person that puts together the package, because it would straight up just be Willow promo. It would just be Willow. It would just be Willow merchandise. Like, we said we were giving a package. We did not say we were.
And we also do have, and I guess it could be a part of mine, or it could be a part of just another something that we do. We talked about this a while back, Pete. Yeah. We came home from Celebration with an extra Andor poster, that exclusive that they gave out at the Lucasfilm live action panel. And so I have one that I have to send to Pete that belongs to his son Jack, that I carried around at Celebration for him. But somehow I came home with an extra one, so we've got that Andor poster as well.
Somehow an Andor poster returned.
Oh, you know what? I'll announce an item that's going to go in the Octo Pack right now. Give me 1 second.
Oh, he's got something.
But yeah, the donations, the prize folks that have gotten involved, we've still actually got a couple of calls out to some other companies that you are aware of, that you know about, for some prizes as well. So much like the guest list that just keeps growing and getting better, the prize and raffle donations also continue to grow and get better.
Absolutely. And again, $5, you get an entry. If you spend $10, you get 2 entries and more. What do we have, Alden? What's coming up here?
So, amongst other things that will be figured out, TBD, shirts, stickers, all that stuff, I realized that I have mint. I don't think I've ever even taken it out of this. You could only get these at the Lucasfilm Company store. And surprise, because how time works, they will only ever make them once. A 50th anniversary ornament that is a heavy ornament piece.
Holy cow.
Employees only. Don't ask me how I got it. And it's really pretty, and I'm going to put that in the pack. So
that's amazing.
Fantastic. So more details to come. Nerd Herder says, if I am the prize pack. Well, that's just
okay. That's interesting.
Easy.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Can we share what Dan Zare is giving away?
Nick? I think so, yeah.
So Dan, so again, and I can't believe I didn't mention, and this needs to be put out there as well. The Denuo Novo did a Grogu statue.
Yes, life-size
statue of Grogu. He's giving that away from his personal collection. So, like, it's great as it is to donate $5 or more to make a wish. You're also going to be entered to win some pretty wild and pretty amazing stuff. Let me just run through the shows real quick. If you don't mind. We have, of course, Around the Galaxy, my show. We have the Bombad Cast, who you just heard about. We'll have Seth Green. Podcast of the Wills will have Octo Radio has a somewhat unknown up-and-coming independent filmmaker named Ryan Johnson. You may have heard of his work, shows like Looper and Glass Onion, and The Last Jedi. Star Wars Explained is joining us. We're super excited about that. It's interesting. Star Wars Explained doesn't have a celebrity. I know they're slacking, but they're going to do a super fun trivia challenge on their slot. So we're excited to see what's coming up from there.
Celebrities don't need to book celebrities. That's the problem.
That's true. That's true. That is. They're like, we're gonna do some trivia. We do something a little bit different. Tarkin's Top Shelf has Kristen Baver. That's Becca Benjamin and Mark Suter. Mark is actually an adult survivor / Make-A-Wish kid. So it's really important to them. It's really exciting. Tatooine Sons, David Jesse and his 2 boys. They have Christopher Sean. Kanata's Castle has Kelly Knox. Night Sisters has Zoraida Cordova and another guest, which we'll announce next week. Pink Milk, you guys, we all love the Pink Milk Crew. They're amazing. They are doing a show that's going to focus on the children of Star Wars, and that should be a really fun conversation. If you know them, first of all, they're on right now, so when we're done here, go watch them. But they are they're going to be bringing a conversation about, and they bring such a cool perspective. Just the nicest people in the world. Bro Axiom is back with Charles Soule. It's not a repeat of last year. We promised Charles will be live and hopefully feeling better. For those of you who remember last year, Charles was under the weather last year.
Yes.
So he's going to bring excitement and hopefully again bring us some scoops for donations.
Last year it was Charles Soule, comic book writer.
Correct.
This year it's Charles Soule, officially hired Lucasfilm creative consultant.
That's right.
That's 100% right. I'm glad you reminded me of that, because that is very, very true. Then he's again. All these people are just great people for taking the time, but also they're like Star Wars fans like all of us, which is wild. Father Son Galaxy is a really fun podcast and YouTube channel. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out. Their guest is on the brink of being approved, and we can't wait to announce their guest. And of course, we mentioned What's Glup, which is Katrina Dennis, and she has Mr. Mike Chen with her. So we have. I don't know how we're going to do this all in one day. I was saying jokingly to Becca the other day, next year we're going to have to do 2 days. I don't know. I don't know. I can't do 2 days. Maybe we can. Let's see. We'll do something. But let's get through this one. And again, we are shooting for $10,000. We're at $1,500 now. We're still a month away. We have a lot more to announce next week. And the goal is to get us down to have all the details out by the end of next week, because then we're just kicking into high gear and moving toward the event. And
let me say this, Pete, talking about the raffles, which you ran through a few minutes ago, we've talked about for every $5 that somebody donates, they get an entry into, the raffles. If you donate $25, of course, that's 5 entries. We also said that for everybody who donates between now and the day of the event, you get double entries. So if you said that when I had to step off camera a minute ago, I apologize,
did not.
but I wanted to re-up that. So if you donate $25 today, that's actually 10 entries into the raffles. We're keeping up with all that. We're going to make sure that everybody's entries get in. So donate early, and then let's get, a month down the road and let's do the event. And if you're feeling generous and it's a new month and a new paycheck, donate again. But like we said earlier, we're at $1,500 already, and we're still a month away from the event. So I can't wait to see how this is going to blow up. I can't wait to see what it's going to do. And there's nothing wrong with dropping some fun raffle prizes for some people who are donating to a worthy cause, especially because every single dollar that you donate goes directly to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We don't touch it. It doesn't come to our hands. There's no middleman. It is a Make-A-Wish donation link that we have partnered with Make-A-Wish to do that. So drop those dollars now and then drop them again in September, whatever you can make work. But if you do it now, double the prize entry. So we're trying to incentivize that just a little bit.
I'm going to donate again because I want that Christmas ornament that.
Did you talk about the Peter Townley donation, the raffle prize?
Oh no, I did not. Why don't you tell us about it?
Peter Townley, original host of the Star Wars show, has a unused Episode 8 crew T-shirt that he is donating to be given away. And I have been more than comfortable up to the point that I found out about that, not having my name included in the raffles as a donator and a producer of this event. But when I heard that, I went, I need to win that. That's the prize I want. So Last Jedi crew T-shirt unused from Peter Townley is also going to be available.
And I think if you want it used by Peter Townley, he probably will do that for you.
He'd probably put it on and go do like some farm work if you needed him to.
Right. If that's your thing, then
used, unused options. You have options.
Right. We have options, and that's
right.
That's
it's all out there.
So, David, Alden, anything you want to add before we wrap up our fun announcement night tonight?
Do you want to go first?
I mean, I was just gonna say I'm planning on creating a Rogue One, prize to give away during the show.
Awesome.
I haven't decided what that is yet, but I feel it's very appropriate for the guest and the time that we'll be hosting the show. So keep an eye out for that.
That's awesome. Cool. Good.
And, all I can say is this: I don't want to lean super into the interview's so great, it's so this, it's so that, because But I will say, I think it's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think that it is arguably, if in my humble opinion, and you all have validated this opinion, so you created this monster too. I do think Star Wars interviews, because he's done a lot of interviews. Man directed the greatest episode of television ever made in Breaking Bad, arguably. I do think it's the best Star Wars interview he's ever given.
I will vouch for that, and
For sure.
and 100. And again, it's so funny because you sit here and you think, I always say, like, I've been in bands my whole life, and every band feels like they're better than every other bar band in the town, right?
Right.
Watching this interview and the way he responded, and the way first of all, you asked the right questions, which you asked the questions that people wanted without going into the, hey, so how do you feel about ruining Star Wars? No, you did not go down that road, but you brought up you brought up things that forced or urged him to talk about some of the challenges that came with that film, the way he approached it, the way he felt about it. And again, like I said, I might have said it before you came on, Alden, whether you like The Last Jedi or not, you will look at that movie differently after this conversation. And that's kudos to you, because as you said, he hasn't done a Star Wars interview in 2 or 3 years.
And he's never gone long form about it.
And he's never done it for an hour. Right. Yeah. And it's so much.
And I can say, like, little teasers. There was one teaser clip that went up.
Yep.
And of course they're teaser clips, so I'm clipping them so that it's mostly me, and then you get a sliver of him. That way it's but I have one up that went up about being one of the people that did the Skywalker saga. I have another one in my phone that's probably going to go up tomorrow or Sunday, where we talk about Star Wars, and there's a little mention of even Batman and stuff like that. And I just got, like, if you're watching this right now and you're listening to me and you're expecting to feel like a camp was validated, Last Jedi lover, Last Jedi hater, Rise lover, Rise hater, that's not what you're going to get. There's positive stuff said about Rise. There's positive stuff said about filmmaking in general in terms of special editions or not. We talk about George Lucas's philosophy. We talk about The Mandalorian. Pablo Hidalgo gets a name checked. Like, this is like a Star Wars. It felt to me like the panel that I would love to do if I was ever given an hour on a celebration stage. It is very, very, very personal, and I'm very excited about it. So,
well, and I think I said this at the top of this show before we got into getting you guys in here. That was the biggest thing that stood out to me. His love of Star Wars shines through as somebody who loves Star Wars, not somebody who got to work on Star Wars, not somebody who it was a paycheck. Like, he loves Star Wars, and the passion that led to, and of course you and I texted about it, that before the interview, I went and rewatched Director and the Jedi because it's my favorite behind the scenes documentary. And even in those moments you see it, but then when you see him in this context with you in a long form interview that he doesn't normally do, you just stop and go, all the bullcrap, all the Twitter stuff, all the people creating camps, it doesn't matter, because this is a man who loves and is honored to have the chance to do the thing he did. And that's what I took out of that.
Completely unfazed in the best way. So everybody just get excited for that.
Yeah, it's such a good. It's one of those things. All of us do podcasts. We have conversations with guests, and they're for our listeners. And this interview with Ryan, I think, is for the broad Star Wars base. And I think, and I say that not because Alden's sitting here, and not because I consider Alden a friend, but because I think if you're one of, it's so funny, and I can say this because this is the kind of show this is. When I told, I've mentioned on Around the Galaxy and on this show, my chiropractor, my wife works for him. He and we talk about Star Wars all the time, but he's like one of these guys who he doesn't get his news from Mike Zero and Doomcock, but he's not a sequel trilogy fan. He loves Obi-Wan. He loved the Obi-Wan show, blah, blah, blah. So when I told him, I told my wife, I was like, tell him that we're going to get Rian Johnson. And he wrote back jokingly, pseudo jokingly, ask him why he ruined Star Wars. Right. So, because there are people, and it doesn't matter if you're on those ends of the bell curve where you're the extreme people who are saying that for the clicks and for the money. there are people who are in the middle who are like, I don't know how I feel about the sequels. And that's a totally fair place to sit. If you grew up OG, if you grew up PT, you like the sequels, they don't, not, I was saying before, not all the sequel stuff hits everybody the same.
Yeah.
But when you watch this interview and you understand how Ryan went into being not just The Last Jedi, but being part of Star Wars, it's going to impact the way you look at the movie. So,
and that's
great
Pete's way of saying that people that donate will also receive free adjustments from this chiropractor
right
for life.
Exactly.
All you got to do is get to Jersey.
That's right. But gentlemen, thank you so much. David, thank you for all you're doing for Podathon. Thank you for getting Gary Whitta, and thank you for hooking up Nick. And Alden, thank you for everything you've done and for your Ryan interview. And we will see you guys. We'll talk before, but we'll definitely see you on the 17th of September.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Take it easy, guys.
See you guys.
Awesome. See y'all.
Man, I just honestly, I can't believe where we are with Podathon at this point. It's like there's just I'm so excited. Like, this is one of those things when you can be part of something that, this is sort of what I do when I do a podcast, and I think you do as well. Like, I think it's successful if it's a show that I would have wanted to listen to or watch.
Right.
And honestly, when I look at this guest list, like, if I wasn't one of the producers with you and Scotty on this, I would be sitting in front of my TV from 9 a.m.
I would be
till
telling
it
my
ends.
family, find somewhere else to be today.
Right.
I have a thing.
I have
or
a
I'm
thing.
Go to my office where
Right.
you can't bother me, and I'm going to watch all of this because you're exactly
I'll be
right.
stuck at a family event with my phone on watching this. I mean, and it's like it's wall to wall. It's like it starts with Christopher Sean, and it ends with my guest who's going to be there. But it's wall to wall. It's nonstop. And even
And
the
we
shows
still
that
have things that haven't been announced, and we still
Exactly.
have. And now, and we're hovering, and Alden kind of alluded to it, but I'm also in a similar situation that he is. We're at the point right now where we have the potential for like bonus content that may not make it into the full day run, but is going to end up on the channel also to benefit Make-A-Wish. Like, the amount of the outpouring of people who are interested, and I think Make-A-Wish has everything to do with that. And I want to take a minute just to highlight that again, because you and I got to listen to the Seth Green interview with Scotty and Jerry.
Yep.
And Seth Green himself was like, I love Make-A-Wish. He was like, it's one of the most important things. He said, I really, he kind of made a joke about another celebrity who does tons of Make-A-Wish stuff. He's like, I'm not on his level yet, but I'm trying to get there. Make-A-Wish is such a worthy organization. We ran some videos last year. One of my best friends that lives here in town with me, his daughter is a Make-A-Wish child. I'm hoping to have an update from them that we can run this year. You talked about Mark from Tarkin's Top Shelf. Like, it's such a worthwhile cause.
Yep.
And that has been the thing that has gotten the attention of these amazing guests that we have gotten to get.
Yep.
They get requests to do podcasts all the time. And I'm so thankful that they said yes to ours, but they said yes to ours because it's Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
And that's the lead that we can't bury, is everything we're doing, the craziness, the things that on a daily basis, when you and Scotty and I are texting each other and going, holy crap, can you believe this? It's because of the charity, and it's because of the Make-A-Wish. And that's the reason we're doing all of it. So it really is everything.
Yep. 100%. 100%. So, should we do the news? We'll do the news. I mean, it's not streaming Star Wars unless we do the news.
Why don't we do some news?
Let's try that. I'm going to see if I can hit the right things here.
Can you do the news, Pete?
I've been a little off tonight, but I'll do my best. Let's see.
I believe in you.
Okay. More Book of Boba Fett. Filoni and Favreau talk Mandoverse, and Diego Luna talks representation in Star Wars. Give us 5 minutes, and we'll give you the galaxy. Well, another week, another flood of news, rumors, clickbait, and conversation. I'm Pete Fletzer, and welcome to Disturbances in the Force. All the links to the original sources can be found in the notes, and I encourage you to check them out. So, let's get to it. While the rumors for a second season of Book of Boba Fett started swirling almost the instant the series ended, there's yet to be any official word or confirmation on the subject. Among the many reported rumors and leaks that are out there, one bright spot of the information came this past weekend when actress Ming-Na Wen, who played Fennec Shand, spoke at Fan Expo in Boston. When she was asked what was next for her, Wen had the following to say. She said, quote, "Second season of the Book of Boba Fett, I hope. I never count my chickens before they hatch because this is the business, but you just never know. But knock on wood, they'll be announcing that soon." Potential announcements regarding a second season of Book of Boba Fett could come on the Disney Plus Day on September 9th or during Disney's annual D23 event, which takes place September 9th through 11th this year. In a tweet from Entertainment Weekly this week, a 7-minute video interview from Star Wars Celebration that features the architects of the Mandoverse, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. When asked about how they're expanding on the legacy of the Star Wars through the content they're making, Filoni said, quote, "We love seeing the development of all these series, from the new shows we're doing with John Watts, Skeleton Crew. But when you look at Andor, you look at Obi-Wan, you look at Mando, you look at Boba, they do all have a different feeling and a different tone, and I think that's remarkable. And it really speaks to the serialized nature of Star Wars and how it can be very flexible as a galaxy." Star Wars Vision executive producer James Waugh spoke with Deadline magazine this week about Vision's Season 1 Emmy nomination for the episode called The Duel, as well as what is in store for the announced second volume, which is set to hit early next year. When asked what is next for Visions, Waugh said, quote, "Volume 2 is a sort of global tour of some of the most interesting animation studios on a global level. We have studios from South Africa, Chile, England, Ireland, France, India, and the guiding light there was what we wanted from their storytelling was that it was a reflection of what Star Wars meant in their culture, but also a reflection of the myths and stories that could only come from their cultural context." Star Wars Vision Series 2 is currently slated for release in spring 2023. Podathon 2022 benefiting Make-A-Wish is next month, and the guest announcements came pouring out this week. Half of the guests have been named, including Ryan Johnson, Christopher Sean, Kristen Baver, Kelly Knox, Charles Soule, Gary Whitta, Zoraida Cordova, Mike Chen, and Matt Martin. And just Friday evening, Seth Green of Family Guy, Robot Chicken, Austin Powers, and much more was announced as a featured guest. The all-day charity event is aiming to make more than $10,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Podathon runs on September 17th, starting at 9 a.m. East. More guest announcements will be coming this week. Donations are open now, and you can give your gift today and get more information at www.thepodathon.com. In another recent interview with Total Film magazine, Andor director Tony Gilroy shared more details relating to the already announced season 2 of the much anticipated series. When speaking about the show, Gilroy reconfirmed what was announced at Star Wars Celebration, and that is that season 1 will take place in the year 5 BBY, or 5 years before the events of Rogue One, and the second season will take place in the remaining 4 years before Rogue One. Gilroy said, quote, "We have 4 blocks of 3 episodes coming up for season 2, and each block will move you 1 year closer to Rogue One. And because it's a year each time, we can do something really fascinating narratively that you would never have a chance to do in a film. It's exciting." During the interview, Gilroy also confirmed the widely held belief that filming on the second season is set to begin soon. He said, quote, "It's a beautiful moment. We're getting ready. Things are being written and questioned, going back and forth. It's beautiful to live that process from beginning to end." The first 3 episodes of Andor are slated to debut September 21st on Disney+. Well, that wraps it up for this week's Disturbances in the Force. Make sure to check out the ATG Cast podcast stream for weekly one-on-one interviews with the people behind the fandom. This Thursday, Around the Galaxy will be airing a best-of episode from seasons past. Please subscribe for regular updates. Follow us on all your social media channels at ATG Cast and visit our website at atgcast.com to keep up with us, find our merch, and get information about supporting the show as an ATG patron. And be sure to check out thepodathon.com for all information about our charity event coming up Saturday, September 17th, to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and which will be headlined by Ryan Johnson and Seth Green. Thanks for listening, and may the Force be with you. I was not sure I was going to get all that out, but I think it worked out okay.
I think you nailed it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I think it was just right.
Well, Nick, this has been a fun show just to talk about all. It's amazing how just the fact that honestly we are news now with Podathon, not we. I mean Podathon and the charity, the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's news itself, and I think that's fantastic. Again, I want to thank Otter PR and David from Followers of the Force, who are doing their best to get us out there and get that information out there. We urge all of you who are listening or watching to share this information, get it out there. We want to make Podathon 2022 so much better than it was last year. $10,000 is an achievable goal. I hope that we are past it by the time we get to Seth Green and Ryan Johnson. But I'm really excited. Nick, anything you want to add before we close down for the day?
I mean, you said it all. I'm excied.
That was the problem. I said it all tonight. That was
no. That's a good thing. You and I have talked about this offline. We've talked about just what a great cause this is. The work that has happened in the last 3 years from an idea that you had, like this was your baby, and it has grown from $22,000 to $8,300 or $8,200 to now we're looking at and realistically going, we're going to get $10,000. And in that short period of time, look at how the guests have changed. Look at how the involvement has changed. Like it really is, I think Alden said it earlier, like you said it earlier this week, we're like a regional con or an online virtual celebration. Like, and it's not just you and me and Scotty, it's all the partner shows that are partnering up with us and the contacts that they have, the folks that we love that listen to us, that reach out and say, hey, I've got a prize pack that I want to donate for this thing. Hey, I want to do an ad. Like this is a community event, and that's what Star Wars is. It's community. It's the There Are More of Us thing. And that's what I carry with me when we plan these things, when you and I and Scotty get together and have these meetings and go, how are we going to do this? What's going to happen here? Like the community is what lifts it up. And then to be able, and I think that's reflected. And I think we see that from Lucasfilm. We see that from these guests. Seth Green said yes because it's Make-A-Wish. Like he said that. So I'm so excited about it. I'm so honored to get to be a part of it and to get to work with you and Scotty because of how we work together, of how, the same vision that we all have for this event. And for ultimately everything is about the charity. Like it's not about us. It's not about anybody's ego. It's about what can we do to help other people. And it's just, I'm so excited. Every single day I think about Podathon. And I'm going to have the same kind of crash when Podathon is over that I had when I left Celebration and I had to come home to my real life. Like, it's going to be that thing where I go, oh, now what? Like, I guess I'll go back to doing my podcast. I guess I'll go back to, real life, whatever that is. But it really is so exciting. And again, all the craziness that we've talked about tonight, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, if not more announcements still to come, guests, prizes, other things. Like it just keeps going. And I think that's a testament to the community and the charity. So
100%.
Thank you to the community. Those of you that are watching right now, we love you. You're our people. You're hanging out with us. And, to do it for a cause like Make-A-Wish, like what better, how does it get better? I don't know.
100%. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. I'm so glad you're my co-host. I'm so glad you're my friend. Thank you so much to everybody who hung out with us tonight. Thank you to Alden, Scotty, and David. And thank you to everybody who hung out in the chat. We will see you all, well, not next week. Unless, Nick, you could end up doing a show maybe with a guest host. I won't be around next week.
We'll have to see what happens next week.
We'll have to see what happens. On
TBD on next week.
TBD on next week, September 2nd, right? Is that the...
Yes,
September 2nd. We are looking to be joined by Clayton Sandell to talk about light and magic, and then we're just a couple weeks away from Podathon. So we are so thankful that you support us and put up with us sort of being a little spotty over the next couple of weeks. But we have a charity to help out. So thank you all.
Bigger fish to fry.
Bigger fish to fry. Well, that's Nick, may the force be with you.
Always.